Hey everybody, this is Bill Murphy, and we are live with MMORPG.com's coverage of the Secret World Beta. And we are playing in London with my little Templar here. Look at him. It's the funny part. Check this out. His name is William Bildo Murphy. I don't know where I got the idea for that name, but there you have it. So this is literally right after you start the game. You get dropped here in this part of London near Albion. I was asked by Funcom, we were asked by Funcom, not to show you too much of the story spoilers, the cutscenes and things like that, so I just kind of wanted to give you a feel for the UI and everything that's in the game so far. And we won't cut too much into the actual cinematics because, like a good MMO fan, I really don't want to spoil the story for you.
Business as usual.
So the menu here, you have your character sheet, your ability wheel, your character skills, inventory, mission journal, PvP, help, achievements, crafting, petitions, the store, which I do not believe is actually functional yet. But I wanted to show you something before we get into all that. I believe it's the eyes for inventory. Oh, there's actually a web browser within the game, but I guess we'll get to that soon enough. Well, the character sheet, let's take a look at that. So you have your name here, your faction, your character statistics, which you can just drop down box right here. Obviously, I'm a fresh noob. I haven't gotten anything good. I don't even have any talismans or other gear. Talismans are sort of replace gear in this game since all the weapons and skills and things like that are completely tied to your character's abilities. Meanwhile, talismans are the actual sort of armor gear. Your clothing doesn't affect that. Your clothing is purely stylistic, and you'll collect a whole bunch of clothing, but it doesn't have anything to do with your stats. So it's not like a typical MMO in that way. And then you have your faction rank, which I can't access yet because I just started. Gear management, this will show all your different clothes eventually as you gather them. And your dressing room, that'll show all your different clothes. The gear management will show all your other sets of gear to match all your many different builds with your skills. And speaking of skills, let's close that and go to the ability wheel. So you can go to the ability wheel and you'll see this whole thing is very complex. There are over 500 different skills to get in this game, and it's not like Fireball 1, Fireball 2, Fireball 3. For instance, if we take a look at Elementalism under the Magic category, it'll pop over here and you can see some of the different skills that are available underneath Elementalism. These purple skills signify passive skills, and the blue skills signify active ones. So you can have, at any one time, you can have 7 actives and 7 passives, and you have to spend your AP, your anima points, on all these different skills. But before you can really get them, you also have to spend your skill points, which you get every so often, on the different fields. So before I can really start dealing elemental magic damage, I'm going to need to earn skill points and spend them on this. And doing so will also give you additional skills. So as you can see, there's just a whole lot of variety to the skill wheel. And there's even miscellaneous areas which are locked right now. See, this cluster is locked in the beta. But you've got chaos magic, blood magic, fists. I don't want to go too deep into what each of these is because it is still beta, but as you can see here while we're looking at elemental, you have mind over matter, which gives you an afflicted status. When you critically hit, the target will become afflicted and give damage over time. And the first builder, or the first sort of like auto attack for elementalism, is Ignite, which will build 1 resource for each equipped weapon, and you need to use an elemental weapon to actually wield these skills. And as you can see, you have 2 different weapons that you can equip at any one time, so you can sort of mix 2 different schools from the character skill points. So say I wanted to be elementalist and fist weapons, I could do so. Or if I wanted to be elemental and chaos, I could do so. Or shotguns and blades, you can just mix the 2 of them at any given time. But you won't be able to use active skills from 3 different skills pools at one time because you can only wield 2 weapons at a time. I hope that makes sense. And then another cool thing to show you here is the deck system. This will let you actually pick any one of these sort of classes. And these are like preloaded builds. So let's take a look just at Preacher, okay? So it'll give you an idea of the kind of clothes you can earn by actually building this build. That's right, you can actually get this outfit for your character if you were to spend the points and build out this class.
Don't mind us. Business
So,
as usual.
now you notice as soon as I picked Preacher, it showed a little circles with numbers in them, and you'll see how many points you have to spend. To really become a Preacher, you spend a few points in Blades, and then you spend a lot of points over here in Blood Magic. Differential, and it'll show you what the actual skills are here, and you can turn that off so you can build the deck or see what the deck's supposed to be built with. And there's different things such as a Crusader, which is mostly about pistols and a little bit of hammers. It's really a very interesting way to handle how a class can be built for you. If you're a little overwhelmed by all this, these will give you some ideas. So think of it like when you pick a class in Elder Scrolls Morrowind, you don't necessarily have to stick to it, but it'll give you sort of a guide to go by. If I want to be a witch hunter, look at that. Look at that guy. Who doesn't want to look like that guy? You can have hammers and blades and mix it up like that. Or maybe I wanted to be a paladin, a righteous paladin. That guy, I don't know. He looks a little froofy, but whatever. You'll use mostly blades and a little bit of pistols and ranged weapons, and to work towards this build with these sort of skills. It's all very unique, and probably the first time in a long time in an MMO that I've been tasked with thinking about what I have to do to make my character work. The ability search, this is pretty cool too. If you wanted to find an active or a passive, if you want to see something that's available, it's just an easy way to look it up. If maybe you saw somebody in chat talking about a certain skill, you could look it up and see what it does. It's sort of like your encyclopedia of all 500 plus skills. So, that is the skill wheel in the secret world, and that's the skill points area of the secret world. A little bit later on in our videos, you'll see how we spend some of those. Now, let's move on. We have the mission journal. It really straightforward and simple. It'll tell you where you have to go and what you're doing, and each mission has a different icon. These little blue sort of film reels deal with the main story quests, and then there's little running guys that are on a red background that are sort of like action, sort of attacking quests. There are investigative missions, which are signified by their little oh, what's that thing called? You guys know what I'm talking about. A spyglass, a looking glass, and so on and so forth. And then there's a PvP area. This will show you the map and the active PvP places. These are what we have available for the beta right now. We have the Fusang Projects, which is a persistent war zone. That's one of the 3 faction war zones going on. Can't currently join it because, again, I'm a little too low. But here you go. You can get a kind of an idea of what's going on. These are, you get faction buffs for actually holding these, and when it says persistent war zone, you have to keep in mind that this is constantly going on. One faction can sort of dominate it at any given time, but it's not like a battleground that ends and somebody wins. It's always open, it's always there. Think of it like Dark Ages of Camelot. And it's realm versus realm combat. But then from the map, you can also see some of the battlefield PvPs. These are the ones where you want to win, and you can actually go in and win a match, and it counts towards your faction's actual victories within there. And if you win in the result, which I think is every hour right now in beta, I can't remember. Someone's gonna have to point that out for me in the forums. But if you win these, you can get, again, faction buffs for your faction. So there's actually something to be had just for competing in these for your entire faction too, even though they are a start and finish sort of a battlefield match. And then there's El Dorado PvP. You can get more buffs with XP gain increase, hit rating increase, critical chance increase. So there's a lot of reasons to actually go in and fight other players for your faction, not just in this persistent zone PvP, but in these battlefields as well. And then we have achievements and lore, very basic kind of stuff. You get factional things, lore. All of these unlock titles and everything else like that, so for all of you achievement hunters, there's plenty to do in the secret world. And then there's petitions and store. If you want to click the store, see, nothing happens. All your settings, you might be familiar with this layout. It's a bit like Age of Conan's actual settings tabs, but there's a whole bunch of stuff to dig into. Target highlighting, target markers, transparency. I mean, it's fairly in-depth. Everything from name tags to HUD and advanced. It's not really movable. You can't move all this stuff around, but you can drag chat boxes and everything like that around. So that's kind of cool. That's customizable. Great. There, phew, I was scared. I thought I may have had it out there, and I no longer wanted it to be. You have your mini-map over here. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can click right on it for PvP. You can also click on that to see a big overview of the map and add markers, such as you would need to do if you want to remember someplace. And what else is there to show you? These statuses down here. When you are hindered, when you are impaired, when you are weakened, or when you are afflicted, you will be told. These are sort of like debuffs that happen to your characters, and they can stay on you, at least in this iteration of beta, and you might need to heal them either at an NPC or with some of the skills that are available in the game. And that's sort of an overview of the UI. As you can see, there's actually a compass up here too, so you can always see where you're going. Pretty cool, straightforward representation of that. And I really wanted to find... I'm going to find it, I promise. I really wanted to find that web browser for you guys. There it is. You press the B button and it'll bring up the web browser right in game. It's fully functional.
I'm just here to move people along.
And there you go. You can do all your fact searching, because there's going to be a lot of investigation missions. You can do all of it right here. You know, if you have a quest to find out why Justin Bieber is so popular and what it means for the end of the world, you can search it right there. Oh my god, look at that hair. Why does he look like a lady? I'll never know. Anyway, folks, that is the UI of the Secret World. Please stay tuned to MMORPG.com all weekend and all next week, because we'll be bringing you lots more videos and lots more written coverage of everything the Secret World Beta has to offer. Thanks a lot. Once again, I'm Bill Murphy, and this is MMORPG.com.